I wanted to talk a little bit about foraging for turkey tail because this is an extraordinary medicinal mushroom, very popularly used, found in many places of the world, and easily confused for some of its lookalikes. Now, fortunately, this is a mushroom where if you do confuse it with a lookalike, you won't get the same results, but you're not going to get poisoned and die, which can happen with mushroom foraging. You always want to be really, really careful about what you're doing because there are those that aren't just toxic. They're sort of like going to kill you toxic. So you got to pay attention. So here we go. What's known as true turkey tail, right? This is your Tremetis versicolor, right? Versicolor, right there in the name. It has a bit of fuzz on top and it almost looks like a little silvery sheen if you hold it in the light in the right way. And this is a mushroom that's going to have really distinct color bands, right? So it's got this beautiful, like the feathering of a turkey tail, right? Hence the name, and real distinct layers, right? There's another variety, T. Hirsuta, that's commonly mistaken for turkey tail. It doesn't have, it's kind of more of a whitish to grayish color, and those bands aren't super sharp. So there's a distinction. If you want to get the true one, that's what you're looking for. The other isn't going to hurt you. It's just not going to do what the true turkey tail does. Then there's what we know. Oh, the other thing about turkey tail, it's always going to be thin and flexible. Even when it dries, it may lose a little bit of its flexibility, but it will still retain that. So if in the drying process you notice that it's kind of not doing that, you probably have another variety again. If it gets hard and rigid. So again, it won't hurt you necessarily because the turkey tails don't, but it isn't going to be true turkey tail. There's another type of turkey tail called false turkey tail, sometimes also known as golden curtain crust, right? Sterium ostrea. And now both these mushrooms, both our true and our false turkey tails, have powerful antibacterial and antifungal properties, right? But they're not the same mushroom, so I want you to be aware. False turkey tail is going to probably have a bit of a stronger red color potentially. That's one of its differences. It also has a smooth underside and no pores. So true turkey tail, you've got a little bit of a soft fuzzy sheen on the outside. The underside, there's no gills, and there's teeny pores, right? You got to squint to see them. False turkey tail, 0 pores. You're not going to see them. And it won't have that really distinguishing fan, and it may have slightly redder bands, and that can fool people because they go, oh, distinguishing colors, a red distinguishing color must be true turkey tail. Nope. You want the whole fan of the feather looking at the feather. The mushroom doesn't have a feather. It looks like a turkey tail feather, okay? So there you go. When you're foraging with mushrooms, be very careful, know what you're doing, go with somebody that's seasoned so you can make sure you're learning properly how to identify. And there's a few tips for you to be clear when you're out looking for turkey tail. Did you get true turkey tail, or did you end up with one of its other varieties? Not necessarily going to hurt you, but not going to be the true thing. Have a question or comment, please leave it below. I'd love to hear from you, and you can always visit our website to get more information on this amazing medicinal herb.